Hi, this is Grant. Um, I'm here to do a proposal for Aetheria District for the Aetheria District with a proposal called NetRunner. NetRunner is based upon the Cyberpunk 2077 or Cyberpunk 2020 um, tabletop game. It's to do with like running the net. So it's like in the game, it's like hacking a, a network, and the networks are represented in a 3D sort of virtual reality environment in all sort of cyberpunk themed um, content. That's kind of how it goes. It's like 3D. Um, so in that theme, uh, this proposal is called Netrunner. So Netrunner is you're running around on the net and in Aetheria, and that's like a virtual network of sorts. Well, this part of it is anyway. Um, Mostly Decentraland is a anthropomorphized sort of version of reality. I, I don't always align to that idea. I like to think of it as a 3D network. Um, but this is maybe a compromise between the two. The idea is that in this Netrunner proposal is to achieve two objectives. One is to create a game loop to increase the daily active users into the Aetheria district, and two, to create content, like more content in Aetheria. Currently, it's underdeveloped. Um, so the basic concept of this idea or this proposal is that players will come to Etheria in order to build out their little piece of or to try to hold their little piece of Etheria. It's a transient concept, so it's not a permanent thing, meaning that while you may build it while you may build it, it may change over time. You might not own what you build. It's a game loop. It's not like a permanent. Um, it's not like a permanent thing. The persistence, ideally, the persistence of these 3D structures that I'm showing here are are stored on a server, so it will change over time. Um, what they what the players will come to do is to to build up their own um, little place of Etheria by harvesting ice, which is needed. Um, so they collect ice from these mining rigs. This is the mining rig. You come over and you collect it. You can see the ice points increase by the amount of ice crystals that you harvest. Right now it's just the coins, but I'll change the graphics later. This orange thing is a mining rig. I'll need to change that as well, just to make it look like more like a something recognizable. Ice itself, in the concept of cyberpunk, is it stands for intrusion countermeasures electronics. So the idea is that ice. I'll just read this section here. ICE is a term used in cyberpunk literature to refer to security programs which protect computerized data from being accessed by hackers. So that's the idea, is that this wall here, is this being built by me in order to stop people from entering this area and collecting this ice. Uh, there'll be a door later. I haven't developed the door yet. I'll talk about that later, but that's the idea. It's now like a firewalled part of the network. So these mining rigs, they need power in order to produce the ice. The mining rigs need power, and in order to um, generate the power, you need to connect solar panels like this. So I'll just put a solar panel here. It all costs ice. So in order to so the more solar panels that you have connected to this building, the more the more the quicker the ice will be generated from the miner. Currently, that's hasn't been finished yet, but that's the idea. And the more ice you can do, the bigger your building can be. So all these components cost ice in order to build a wall. In order to build your structure, you need to produce ice in order to complete your structures, like so. So when you can see that the the numbers are going down. The count of ice is going down when you add a piece. So the ice crystals can be used for to build, as I've demonstrated. They can also, this is a potential feature, is to be able to make additional mining rigs, so that you could maybe hide a mining rig from players. Originally, I had the idea to require that the solar panels need a power cable in order to connect to the ice miner, the mining rig. So what they would do is would show other players the location of the mining rig by showing where the power cables will be. So will lead to. So that's the idea there. But due to the complexity, I've removed that feature currently. The other reason for collecting ice is to use it to defend against other players from coming in and taking your ice. So the idea is that you can have a door, and the door can be locked and with a password. So like a PIN number, so like a 4-digit PIN number. And if you don't have that 4-digit PIN number, then you can attack the door using the ice points, and the player defending the door can allocate ice points for the defense of the door. So the how that plays out is very similar to how Risk works. So when in the board game Risk, when you're attacking a territory, you roll dice. The attackers and defenders roll dice relative to the number of defending and attacking troops. The number of higher dice will defeat lower dice, and each player will subtract the rolls that lose compared to the other side. So it's a war of attrition, and it just keeps on repeating until the one player loses, or the attacker ceases the attack. And once the attacker wins, then the lock is broken, the door opens, and the new attacker can then allocate ice to the door and assign their own password, assign their own PIN number to it. and therefore that mining rig is now theirs because the only way in is through their using their PIN number. I've also as another idea is that the the these mining rigs may be randomly placed at different heights and may need players to use a hoverboard in order to find the new locations or additional locations. Well, I'll change the gravity for that hoverboard. It's too difficult to fly. But yeah, so you might need to build up to find. You may fly around, find a new miner that's just floating in the air, and you might need to build up to get to it. Let's see if I can land on this thing. Unfortunately, the physics model stops. Yeah. Let's land on the wall. Other features would be to obviously change the colors. I was thinking about adding a UV mapping feature so that larger, like big images can be placed upon the walls. So maybe like one giant UV mapping that's to a UV mapping that makes a larger image, or not. And yeah, that's about it for the proposal. Let me know what you think. Let me know if you want to help with the persistent side of it, as in storing this information into a database and retrieving the information when a player comes onto the scene. I don't know how cost effective it will be, but these are things that need to be talked about. All right, cool. I'll catch you later. Bye.